Hello friends, I am back with another video. We are doing the good, the bad, and the ugly BJD tag by Lovely Day. I have the questions over yonder, so if you see me looking over here, that is why. But I have my ladies behind me, and I thought, why not? So the first question is, if you had to label your individual dolls as good, bad, or ugly, how would you classify them? Now, I don't think any of my dolls are ugly. However, if I had to do this, I probably would maybe base it off of like body aesthetic. Maybe like personality, but not like physical looks, like their face. So I guess my good would be Moss, Nana, and Chi. My bad would be Lamb and probably Lamb and Annie and Clara. And then as far as like ugly, I guess the only thing I have to call ugly would probably be Moss and Lamb's knees, because the knee joint on the Obitsu bodies isn't great. That's yeah. So the second question is, what is something you are confident about or good at when it comes to your hobby? For me, it would be precariously getting dolls to balance for photos. Also, if you see something moving over here, I have flowers drying. I just realized they're in frame. I am sorry. Let's just try. Oh, can I? Nope. Okay. You're just gonna have to deal with the random leaves of my flowers that are drying. Yeah, so I am weirdly good at getting dolls that either don't want to stand, don't want to pose, don't want to hold limbs up. I'm really good at making them do poses, and I'm really good at making dolls like weirdly balanced, especially like when I'm taking photos outside. Like, I can get Moss to balance in a tree, like by shoving her finger in a crack and like getting her clothes to kind of catch on the bark and stuff like that. Or I got Annie to stand on a bunch of like loose pebbles without her telescopic stand, so I could get a picture of her like walking through some trees on our property. Just things like that. I got Chi to like balance on the branch of a tree because we have a weeping evergreen, and so I got her to balance like weirdly on a branch. I'm just good at getting dolls to do things. When I had a doll meet in the summer at my house, I got a resin girl who I guess just like doesn't like to pose or stand or anything, who was in like heels to like stand in some gravel. So I'm good at getting dolls to pose. Question 3, is there anything you do in the hobby that other people might say is questionable or bad? I'm not gentle with my dolls. I've always been like this. When I collected resin, I was a lot more like careful, and like I wouldn't like, because resin breaks really easy. But now that I only collect vinyl, like if a doll falls, like if it falls on their face, like then I'm like, oh no, and I like panic. But like honestly, like my dolls fall backwards all the time. Like I'll like have them standing on my coffee table and I'll bump my table and then they just fall. Oh no, our table. No, and nothing breaks. But yeah, like I will just like, when I'm transporting them, like I'll take like, and this is just because I literally did this earlier. So like this is my computer case that looks like a book, and I will like put my tallest, so like Clara and Annie will go on the bottom, and then I'll put like Moss and Lamb on top, and then I'll put Chi on top of them, and then Nana will go like right on top. And I just have like a stack of dolls that I carry like a waiter around. because I'm insane, and I'm like, if I break my doll, then I break my doll. But like other people's dolls I treat so nicely. Like when I'm taking photos of other people's dolls, I'm like, may I please pose them? And like I'm like, is this okay? Can I touch them? Like I'm very careful. And then the second people are like, can I touch your dolls? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And I'll like grab them by their arm and like toss them over to people. People panic whenever they see me handling my dolls, but it's like, I know my, like, what will break my doll and what won't. So now I'm just like, I'm very not like, you must be so careful. And I always see people like, you have vinyl dolls, like, do you like wear gloves when you hand them? I'm like, no, I don't care. So I get judged by some of my friends in the local community, but I don't care. Question 4. How have you been resourceful in the hobby? Well, when I started collecting, I started with resin. I had a huge doll collection, and then I sold it all off and switched over to vinyl. My Dolphy Dream, so Clara, I bought her as a head, torso, and thighs, so she was armless and legless. And she was like that for years, and then I like saved up and I found her arms on the secondhand marketplace, and like it's just weird how Clara came to be. She's a Dolphy Dream sister with Snow Miku arms, and it's just a wild time. But like with Annie, because smart dolls are ridiculously expensive and overpriced. Come at me, Danny Chu. I sold, I'm a furry. I sold one of my fursuits to buy her. Which I don't regret selling the fursuit now, because now the person who owns the fursuit is very happy. But maybe, like in hindsight, maybe I would have gotten 2 or possibly 3 different dolls with that money. But I digress. And like my A zone, so this one or my other OB2, depending on how you look at things, she was I negotiate with people, but I'm not like aggressive about it. I'm good at negotiating. That's another thing that I do. But I have, like, I always ask for pictures. Even if the person posts 1,000 pictures, I will specifically ask for personal photos, that kind of thing. Or I'll say, do you mind sending me like a quick photo of, and like I'll ask for a specific angle or something. Usually because I'm curious, like I want to see something. It's not just to be annoying. But like with this one, the person who was selling her to me knocked off another $50 because she discovered when she unpacked her, because she had her all packed up, because I asked for a photo because she didn't post very many. I just wanted a picture of like the bust because I couldn't really tell because the pictures she posted were of her clothed. She noticed that when she unboxed her that her shoulder joint was actually broken. And she was like, hey, like I just took her out. I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't realize her shoulder joint was broken. I'll knock off $50 of the price. Very happily bought her. That kind of thing. And I also, like, this is kind of a risk. New collectors don't do this. But usually I can get a vibe off of someone. In Canada, we have this thing called Interact e-transfer, so we can like directly transfer people money into their bank account like immediately. And like, don't, like I said, don't do this if you're not like 100% confident in what you're doing. But like if people are in Canada, usually they'll cut me a deal because they'll be like, hey, do you just want me to e-transfer the money? And then, you know, because they're not dealing PayPal fees, they're not dealing with having to wait to transfer things into their bank account. It's like instant in my bank account, so usually that helps as well. But yeah. Question 5 is, if there was a bounty put out for one of your dolls, who would it be on and what for? Like, I feel like probably, I want to say my smart doll just because it's a smart doll. But maybe Clara, my Dolphy Dream sister, just because she has the Snow Miku arms and they're like Snow Miku. I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer that. Number 6 is Use the good, the bad, and the ugly to describe BJDs as a hobby. Oh. Okay. So the good, I guess, would be that it's really creative. You can connect with other people. I've recently, I've known this person in our local community for a long time. I've been in the hobby for 10 years, so recently I've started doing like meets and stuff, and I recognized her back from when I was really young, first in the hobby and going to meets way more often, and so because of like her and I kind of being like, hey, I remember you, because her and I both kind of like disappeared from the community and just kind of went off and did our own things. We've like reconnected, so I mean there's that piece of like building relationships and friendships, and also like this kind of creative thing. My dolls are a big comfort and like relaxation item for me. They really bring me a lot of chill and calm. So I guess there's that part as well. The bad, I guess, would be like the financial part. They're expensive. They're really expensive, and sometimes like smart dolls. I kind of like question where that value is coming from. And I guess the ugly could be, I hate to say it, but also like while you can meet wonderful people in this hobby, I think that you can meet some really not so great people in this hobby. And I think that there can be a lot of attitudes that come with this hobby because it's a luxury item hobby. So there can be a lot of different kind of opinions and attitudes, and some of them aren't really friendly. But I digress. But yeah, I guess that would be it. And that is all the questions for this prompt. So I hope you enjoyed this prompt. I know that it was kind of rambly and long, but anyway, it was fun. And I had a lot of fun doing it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, which is not this one because this one is over. Bye, guys.